And welcome in! Happy Sunday Fun Day, everybody. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I am one half of your host and virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole. What are you having, Nicole?
Oh, you know me, some Tito, some orange, some cranberry juice, Mr. Nick. What are you drinking? And our three things for the show.
I am drinking my Seven Oaks Galore Cabernet, as usual. Well, tonight could be the end of FTR, in my opinion. I don't know. They could. Undefeated Megan Bayne challenges Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Title, and Swerve Strickland tries to reclaim his house. It's a Sunday special on April 6th as we preview AEW Dynasty on the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
Gasoline and groceries, the list goes on and on. This 9 to 5 ain't working. Why the hell do I work so hard? I can't worry about my problems. I can't take them when I'm gone. 1, here comes the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Tell him bring another round when he's ready more. 2 stepping on the table, she don't need a dance floor. Oh my. Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
And welcome back in, everybody. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Welcome to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour, a very special edition as we preview AEW Dynasty coming up shortly in under 90 minutes now, Nikki, as we get ready.
Yes, well, for 0 hour.
Yeah, well, yeah, so we count 0 hours part of it. So, Nikki, before we get into the 10-match card for the evening, loaded card, as it always is, any overall thoughts on the card? On the they're not PLEs, AEW, it's pay-per-view.
Because I have to go into Triller and order it after this. They're just, why does there need to be 9 matches? 10 matches, because we forgot one during our predictions. There's 10. There's 10 matches. Why are we having opening rounds to the Owen on pay-per-view? Again, you have to get to the nuggets. Like, I cannot wait for Swerve and Mox, and if Swerve doesn't win in Philly, I will riot. I will riot in the streets, or dead end little street. But again, you have to you have to wade through the slog to get to your good little bits. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of fun. There's fun matches, and they're going to be good matches. But not everyone and their mother needs to be on the card. Everyone's
got to get their spot on the card.
Again, it's like you have to consider, like, this would be their beat, like we say for WWE, like your B pay-per-views. You don't need everyone on there.
Right. It's a lot, not to cut you off.
No, please.
But it's a lot like, it's a concert, right? It's a show at the end of the day. So, like, you don't need to necessarily, like, play hit after hit. Like, you can have a bunch of, it needs to flow together. Like, you can have all these stars, but if they're thrown together on the show with no rhyme or reason, it doesn't make any sense. So, you just need some sort of flow to it. And the storylines, like, you cut out probably 2 to 4 matches and have a nice solid 3 hours, especially considering, me on how much I love my sleep, Nikki. So, like,
I know. Well,
I'd like to
what was it Revolution? You're like, don't say this, but you fell asleep. And I was like, and something. You're like, what? I was like, just watching wrestling, babe. Go back to bed.
Yeah, people chiming in. I'm gonna try and read Yabba Habba Zabba Shabba. Let's Go Swerve. Stop Death Riders BS. He says he's hoping.
Yes.
He's also hoping Jericho can keep up with.
Oh, I wait till I have a lot of feelings about that match when we get to that.
Josh said he's here for the hits. Fuck your story. We're gonna.
Josh is being saucy.
I know,
Love it already.
This is it's a Philly show, so we're gonna it's emanating from Philadelphia. So Dynasty, we're gonna get right to it, Nikki.
Yes.
This is going to be a good one. I am super excited. So we'll kick it off because it's in Philly. Let's try with a song often associated with Philly.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet.
Nikki,
Yes, I'm
What?
sorry.
what did I upset you?
No, but again, as soon as you're like, it's something with Philly, I was like, oh god, it's Eye of the Tiger. Of course you would. No, just the graphic of like the big graphic. What is going on with Kenny Omega's chest? Can you flip back real quick? What is going on there?
He's just breaking out of his chest.
I'm like, that isn't like, I don't. It looks weird.
He's just so muscular. I don't know. It's his new.
Like that's Photoshop. Like his head and it like that. Sorry. You know how I get really critical about these graphics, and I will probably mention
graphics and attire. Yeah.
I do. So we're gonna get into that, but
He's just breaking through. He's breaking through his outfit. maybe that drop I could have used it later. Well,
you will. What's your first? Because Nick likes to think that he predicts the
no,
order.
this time
one.
I didn't do
You're
it
not?
as flowy.
You're like, this is what we think, and I was like,
as
this is what you're
what I
thinking.
thought would be flowy.
Okay.
But no, we're opening with actually great segue because we open with Kenny Omega defending the AEW International title in a triple threat match against Ricochet
Mhm.
and now in his second or third match, Speed in AEW, Speedball Mike Bailey.
No, because he had the match. No, it's more matches than that. He just had the match on last night.
Yeah, so
It was him and
two or
Drew
three,
Listico,
whatever.
and oh,
Well, I get them then maybe it's the collision that I missed on. But Nikki, before I get your prediction and thoughts on the match, what are you expecting for this? And
again, Josh, this is for you. It's gonna be a lot of flippy doos. It's gonna be a fun. I hope it opens. It's just be a hot, fun opener that the three of them are incredible in the ring. How I feel about their and I agree with you.
Kenny's a peacock.
I love Kenny
that.
Omega.
That is a great reference. You fit right in on this show.
No, but I think it's gonna be a fun match. Do you want me to get to my prediction? Because then I say how.
Well, my first quick question
Okay,
is like
what is your
because
question?
of the three people involved. So
Yeah.
you have Kenny Omega at one point in time, maybe still, you could still argue again, he's been
Mhm.
the best in-ring wrestler in the world.
Best bout machine.
Ricochet. Talk it. Ricochet, one of the best high flyers in the world again. And Speedball coming in is a hot to trot, right? Hot shot in AEW. So could will this be the match of the night?
Oh,
There's a lot of good,
don't
in-ring matches on the card. Do you think that's why I put this? Because do you think this will be the match of the night?
I'm hoping other matches might be and should be, but this probably will be. Because it's just like you have Kenny coming back from the injury with the belt, defending just I think trying to prove that he's back on that level. Again, you have Ricochet with this, I guess not new heel turn at this point, but I guess new heel turn, this new persona, like he just married Sam. And then, you know, got Speedball, kind of like the new kid at AEW. Again, he just left TNA, just came. You said he's only had a handful of matches. And again, like Speedball is so good that I think the three of them all have something to prove.
Right. Yeah. So
I think it's going to be a hot match.
To me, it's either this one or the main event. Swerve Mox that would be match of the night.
I'll hold my tongue.
But as we get to that later, so Nikki, the question is, as we always predict this, and I should mention, coming off of Revolution, Nikki and I are actually tied. We were both 7-2 off of Revolution. So.
And again, the one match I picked with my heart. And like, again, I pick what is like, it's not what you think is going to happen, it's what you want to happen. And I go with my heart. But this one, heart, gut, everything. How is it not Kenny Omega? Again, we said, like, I think at Double or Nothing, it's going to be Okada, Kenny. Let's merge those belts together. But I think he'll pin Ricochet. I think Ricochet can take a pin as that heel and come back and, like, blame Speedball, and him and Speedball can do a thing, or like he can. I don't think because Speedball's kind of the new kid right now. Well, I guess there's so many. Every other day there's a new kid, but I think Ricochet can kind of just shake off the pin.
Yeah, he can pick
Kenny's winning
of the three. Yeah, I put it up there already because you need to say from. I agree that Kenny's winning because I think we're headed toward a Kenny Okada, title unification match.
Yep.
Josh is getting real saucy. I hope they give Ricochet a mic. He's so good on the mic. But Ricochet's actually been fantastic in the last, I'd say, 6 weeks to 2 months of his career in AEW. Has been some of the best work I've seen him do in the last 3 years since he joined WWE or AEW. So I'm excited to see what Ricochet can do. So I disagree with you, Josh, but you can call in and argue me.
I'm just always like, when he talk, and I'm just like,
our new friend YHZHGS. Oh, I need it.
And
He's got a mega
nickname.
Condense this down. Give me a nickname.
Josh just called. I don't know if it's me or you, but it's Silly Goose. But that's one of my favorites. You Silly Goose.
I need to find. Ooh, there's got to be a Silly Goose drop coming somewhere.
Oh God.
But ultimately, yes, Nikki and I do agree that
it's
Kenny Omega will be the victor here and retain the title.
Not to go. I know we're moving on, but he needs to fix his hair because it's him and Edge or Cope. Their hair is so light.
Call him Yaba.
Perfect. Thank you.
Simple.
Their hair is so light that when he pulls it back, it looks like he's like bald here.
I'm not saying anything about anyone's hair.
No, you're beautiful.
We're not talking about hair.
I'm just saying, he was cutting that promo on the steps while holding the belt, and then it's just like but it was like wet. His hair was wet and damp, and the color, it just didn't look right. I just missed like Terminator black and like gray Kenny.
Probably, yeah. That would be bring that back.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs to he needs like a trim. I'm sorry, let's go on. I can stop me.
From someone who you think needs to potentially rebrand or go back to an old gimmick to someone who seems to know their gimmick or brand, Mercedes Moné, Nikki, is defending the TBS. Oh. Or not defending the TBS.
No,
she's in the Owen Hart.
I love Julia Hart. I think she's such like. Well, I was ranting about you this earlier. She's not going to win. It's going to be Mercedes. I want her to be good, and I think if pushed right, and again, I loved her TBS reign. It was unfortunate that she did get the injury. And they called because when Mercedes debuted, she attacked Julia, and that's how she got the belt. I love my women on the card, support the women wrestling, but this doesn't need to be on here. This is an opening to the Owen just to get Mercedes a win on your pay-per-view. I don't need it.
Yeah, just to get Mercedes on the
get Mercedes on the pay-per-view. And I love Julia Hart. I want them to push Julia Hart. I want her to. I think there's great things in her future. I love her character. When just watched the Collision match before we came down here to record, or whatever stream. She comes down like her gear, like her jacket and the hat, and she's singing the song. Like she looks stunning. And then I'm just like, she has a presence about her. I want them to push her eventually.
Well,
but it's gonna be Mercedes.
So before
I'm sorry. You always have a question.
Before I will agree with you on the pick. I do agree Mercedes, and we're not the only person because Yaba agrees that Mercedes in the chat.
Yeah.
Steve thinks it's Puppet with the interference.
I mean, that'd be interesting.
A little like that, like the Cobra.
That's what Julia, I think Julia had her in the octopus thing. I don't know if Julie. Anyways, so Harley threw the puppet into the ring, and then the ref turned, and then it was a thing. So maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, but the only other thing I have to say about this match is because again, we agree on who we're picking.
Yeah.
Right. Nikki and I both agree here. So we're either going to be 2-0 or 0-2 with Mercedes Moné. But are we headed towards a Mercedes Moné Toni Storm showdown? Whether is all in the next one? I'm blanking. All in or
double or nothing?
Double or nothing, then all in, all out.
Yes, because the final, which makes no sense to me. You have pick and choose which opening matches you want, but the finals are at double or nothing, and the winners then get the title shot at all in, all out, whatever one's first. I always mix the two. I think all out, then all in, but whatever's. So this wouldn't be. If you think Mercedes is going to win the whole Owen, then you're not going to see Mercedes Toni till August, September. When they always do it around Labor Day weekend.
Okay, so
they always do it around the football draft. What makes you cry?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's because Mercedes has all these belts. Tony's the first ever 4-time AEW Women's Champion. Are we headed towards that inevitability of that to the main event? Now, again, does that dilute? Because now you have the mid-card women's title champion challenging the world champion. Like, does that do anything for anybody? You could argue that at that point. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, are we headed towards that? Which it really doesn't, in my opinion, benefit either Mercedes or Toni.
I feel like I'm worried, and we'll get this in when we get to double or nothing, but I'm worried they're going to put the Owen, because the Owen is an actual belt, and she's looking like the belt collector right now. And are they just going to give this to her so she can look like Ultimo Dragon?
Yeah.
I don't want there.
They did it with Kenny, and it seems like that.
Yeah, but
like the tag. Who's the tag team? Was it the Bucks? That they were doing with. So. I personally, I don't want to see Toni Mercedes. Yaba thinks Mercedes loses the TBS championship for all in. That'd be nice.
I would love. I don't know.
To Camille.
No, Athena.
Or well, actually, really, she should lose it to. Oh my God.
Harley.
Yeah.
Well, Harley. I think it should be Harley, but I have a feeling they're going to do Athena. And again,
Camille return.
I think Camille's probably done. She got injured and she talked shit on TK. I think she might be gone.
Yeah, just silently, not so silently gone. I don't know, but I don't know. So speaking of, as we move along to a match that's not necessarily, I think it's touted because of the background noise of someone who's one of the biggest stars of the company, right?
Is this the match I have so many feelings on?
No, the World Tag Team Titles.
This is where
the Hurt Syndicate, who are sort of recruiting MJF, kind of recruiting MJF, not really. Well, MVP wants him, but Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin don't want him. So there's a lot at stake, more than just the tag team titles, I feel like, in this match. Because there's also, as you look at the learning tree side of things, there was hints. Jericho said it a couple weeks ago about, they need to step up and be better. So there's a lot that could be happening in this match in general. So I'll start with, I guess, the obvious, right? He's not, and you talk about, it's funny because we were talking about like who's on the card and who's not on the card, like big stars. But does MJF get involved at all in this and cost the Hurt Syndicate?
So
or does he help?
I can't. I'm wearing my MJF shirt.
Maybe I'll check. Oh,
I can't. I don't know if you can tell.
I'm trying to show your boobs.
Yep, that's it. There's my MJF
Unbelievable.
shirt. My hair's so gross.
Just
So in the promo on Wednesday, he was basically MJF was trying to sell himself to Bobby to join the Hurt Syndicate. And then he was like, well, I'm going to have to prove it to you. So I feel like MJF is getting involved in this match. And does he get involved for them to retain? Does he try to get involved and they lose it because of his distraction for the referee or whoever happens? Or does he not get involved at all? I just feel like it's MJF, you're going to want him. MJF and Philly would be
like it's face there. Right?
Yeah, so if he comes out to distract, he's going to come out and distract, and if it's for good or for evil.
Hold on. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off because it was upsetting. Josh, I have to please the people. Pop my top.
I was like, oh, you're wearing an WWE shirt on our AEW show.
Thanks, Josh, for keeping us honest. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
But go. But yeah, so you think he could get involved?
I think he's going to get involved, and again, if it's for good or for evil.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tony can't resist not having
MJF and Philly.
Does
I
he
guess
want
if they're
commentary? Put him on commentary. For the hell of it.
Maybe. I don't know. I think he's going to get involved in some way. And I think it's going to be for nefarious means because I think that's the match Bobby MJF at Double or Nothing. So I'm going, I know we dubbed them on Friday the Big Apple.
I know. I'm taking credit for that.
Yes.
And you watch, by next week, they're going to be called.
I know.
They're
Maybe
100%.
that's because, again, that's just the thing we did. What made me if I actually, because I said it was the Outrunners and the Hurt Syndicate. I was like, I know the Hurt Syndicate's going to win, but I really love the Outrunners because they make me fucking laugh. I'm going to root for them. And then they lost, obviously. So, and I feel like I think it's more intriguing for MJF to cost them, but if the Hurt Syndicate wins, I understand.
Right. So before I offer my prediction here, there is one other question because again, we kind of talked about it earlier with Jericho making that comment because could this be the end of this alliance between Big Bill, Bryan, Keith, and Chris Jericho? And do you want to see that? Have you seen enough of it?
Win, lose, draw would ever get Big Bill away from Jericho. Get everyone away from Jericho. I will get there when we get to this match, but we need to stop the madness. Big Bill needs to get away from them.
Well, also, I mean, if you remember, MVP whispered something in Big Bill's ear a week or two ago when they originally challenged. So it'd be interesting to see. I told you this was it last Wednesday? I don't remember. We talked too much about wrestling.
That's all we talk about all day, every day.
But like I said, put Big Bill as the bodyguard for MJF. Like he came in as the hired hitman for him. Like put him as Big Bill with the bodyguard for MJF.
Yeah, but that did nothing for Wardlow, and I don't want that to do nothing for Big Bill either.
I think Big Bill, for some reason, it's weird. I think he has a higher ceiling than Wardlow. Call me crazy.
I sadly agree with you, but maybe if you're trying to build Big Bill up, put him the tag team because he's good at the tag team wrestling. Put him with the Bad Apple for a little bit, and then keep building him up.
That's fair.
I don't know because I really
Josh agrees with you that get everyone away from Jericho.
Should we write this down? And Josh, you agree with me?
I know.
I feel like
Josh was upset. He was upset earlier. He said, "You're getting me in trouble, Mom." Thanks, Jerry.
Oh, because you asked Nick to take a stop off?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't even.
We are out of
You
control.
can't teach that. You
No.
can't teach that.
And
Yaba's got a good suggestion. Maybe MJF takes Hurt Syndicate out for post-match celebration, buying Bobby's grace.
I don't know. I feel like it can go again. Like, would it be more interesting? I don't know. Are you trying to build Bobby and Shelton up? When does, I guess, I don't know, Steven, someone will know. Steven! When does Cedric's 30-day, 90-day, whatever he was, because apparently everyone's clamoring for Cedric to join the Hurt Syndicate. Is this where Cedric comes in? And then maybe there's no MJF at all?
Yeah, that can be good.
I think it's May, but someone correct me down below. I don't know. I know maybe that's the new thing. I'm always going to go against the Hurt Syndicate, and I'm always going to be wrong.
You're just going to get really hurt by it.
I know. I actually really like their entrance music, but also that outfit on Bobby on Wednesday. What is happening, girl? Stop the madness.
There's a lot of comments about these outfits.
It was the 4 sizes too small, and it looked like a 70s leisure suit. Thank you, Dad.
Unbelievable. Ultimately, let us know in the chat who you got. Nikki, who are you picking?
No, I said I'm going the Big Apple.
You love the Big Apple.
I think it's going to be the thing now. Whoever the Hurt Syndicate's going to win, and I'm going to be like, yeah, I know. But I
disagree with you. I got Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
I think they're retaining for at least a little bit.
I think, again, I'm pretty sure you're right. But it would be more intriguing to me if MJF comes and fucks things up, and that's the match of Double or Nothing between MJF and Bobby.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be. There's a lot that could happen. So, I don't know.
And I just like, maybe I'd be more interested when Cedric does come in, and it's Cedric and Shelton running that back as the tag champs. Again, Bobby is a tag champ. I'm just like, take the belts off them, have Bill and Apple go this way, and then build Bobby up as a more, your mid-card, higher-up champ.
Yeah, that's
star.
Fair.
And that suit was 4 sizes too small.
I know.
That was
not the leisure suit.
It was too small. Like, you see at the back how it puffed up, and Nick's like, "What's?" And I was like, "It has to lay flat." Like, I'm talking about men's suits now. We can move on, baby.
Hated it.
You knew it was coming.
I know, and that's my favorite.
I couldn't resist it.
It's my favorite of all time.
Bobby the Builder. Yeah. Ooh. So, Nikki, from the tag team titles to the most prestigious mid-card title in AEW, the TBS champion Daniel Garcia will defend in arguably his biggest title defense of his career against Adam Cole, baby. Let's take you back to his initial challenge, because there's been a lot back and forth between these two. Some nefarious extracurricular activities. They went to a time limit draw. A lot going on, so we'll take you to Daniel Garcia's final challenge.
I've had enough of the distractions. April 6th, you're not going to be out there. You're not going to be out there. And Matt, you're not going to be out there either. Because at AEW Dynasty, there's going to be nobody at ringside. There's going to be no time limit. It's going to be Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. One last time. There will be a winner, and you're looking right at him.
Well, he also...
I have so many feelings about this. But
so, first off, what are you expecting? I know the promo, because they cut another promo, a script or taped promo last night on Collision, that I thought was, and I was going to cut it up, and I just said, but I thought it was better than the initial challenge that I got for this as we put together, and just about Adam Cole talking about his 17-year career and how important Philadelphia is for him. He kind of sold me on how important Philadelphia is for him to win.
He had his first match in Philly, is what he said in that promo.
I thought he said he won his first title.
No, he said his first match was in Philly. Because that's what you told me that before I watched the promo, and then I watched the promo, and I was like, that's not what he said. His first match is in Philly.
See, Nikki's correcting me. Fact check me. So the question then is: this going to be the defining moment or the defining win for Garcia's title reign?
It should be. Renee said on yesterday that this is his first title defense on pay-per-view. And I know he only won it in November at Full Gear. But then you didn't have him on the Revolution card, first of all, you didn't have him on World's End card, which we also talked about how many matches that didn't need to be on there. Maybe you should have your TNT champion. And then again on Revolution, you didn't have your TNT champion. So it's like November, that's almost 6 months, 5 months. Because October to April is 5. So November, so it's October to April is 6 months. So then it's only 5. So 5 months. And this is kind of like the first look at your TNT champion on a big stage. And they built it up so much when he took the belt off Jack Perry, and he was like, they were fighting the Death Riders, they were fighting all the people.
Remember his free agency where he was going to?
Yeah, everyone thought he was going to go to NXT, and when I was like so here for it, and again, that was the Young Bucks. He was fighting the Young Bucks and Jack Perry and the Death Riders. When Jon Moxley was like, "Who's going to come take this?" and he won the belt, and he had the big AEW flag. And I was like, "This is a homegrown kid. Grow your homegrown kid." I can't talk. Kids, you know this. But they're probably gonna put it on Adam Cole, but they shouldn't. Keep it on Garcia. Put Garcia on fucking Dynamite, because I'm tired of not seeing him. Like, again, we joke with Ed about the Crunch Wrap Continental Whoosy Wutsies. Like, Kenny's belt and Okada's belt seem higher than the TNT belt. And honestly, the lineage of that belt, the people that had it, you're being disrespectful to my Brody Lee. Give the TNT belt some love.
That's fair.
Off my soapbox.
So Nikki,
Baby, I'm sorry.
I mean, although I will say this, doesn't Daniel Garcia's promos sound like he's just like kind of like a crying like adolescent toddler? He always just sounds like he's screaming. He's like, "I've had enough. And I'm so tired. And I didn't get to sleep. I only had one juice box. And
because maybe deep man voice hasn't come yet. I like the promo of him yelling better in the ring than when the sit down yesterday. He seemed so nonchalant. And he was just like the sit back and then the wife beater getting I don't know. We're not supposed to call it any of those words.
No, PC stuff.
I don't know what to call it. You know what I mean. But I don't know. I just feel like Tony can't build up the kids. Like, Daniel Garcia is your star. He's so fucking lucky he didn't go to WWE. But I was gonna like strap a rocket to his moon, but that's Josh's gimmick.
Yes, Steven, I'm saying his balls up.
Like, I don't know.
He does show emotion better than Charlotte, though. I will give you credit.
Wait till Friday. That promo. If you watch SmackDown, we're AEW today, kids. But I don't know.
Ultimately, Nikki and I do agree.
It should be Garcia.
It should be Garcia's big title win.
It should. 100%. TK, back your babies. Back the new kids. Grow some people.
Oh, Nikki, are you ready? Talking about backing new people.
Fucking hell, this match.
Nikki, I know you are just super duper excited about this one.
Speculation Station, there was a news floating around that this they wanted to book this for a while now, but actually booked on the books because there's some because again, and this is title versus mask. And if you're not well versed in Lucha Libre, that's a big flippin' deal to beat another luchador and take their mask. That's so monumental and a big deal and not done lightly. And for this fucking Chris Jericho face doing this, I feel like apparently the rumors was whatever the original creative was, Bandido's camp was like, I'm worried that Chris Jericho wanted to win and take his mask, which I think is a horrible fucking deal. Horrible. Like, do not do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a real
But-
ring-a-ding-dong dandy. Thanks, guys.
So, but then magically, I guess whatever negotiation that Bandido agreed to the match, I am thinking it's going to be a dusty finish. Jericho's keeping the belt, Bandido's keeping his mask, because I think it'd be so, because again, like when they took the mask off Ray and WCW, like that was so bad. And he got this little stupid.
But he was in a rap group.
I know, and he got
with Moné.
and he grew horns.
Was it Hooven too? Hooven was the other guy, right? In the Dirty Rascals. What are they? No, Filthy. No,
No, the filthy
Animals.
Filthy animals.
Filthy Dirty Rascals.
Jackson lay down. Our dog's freaking out.
You be part of that group. Apparently, you're a rascal, according to Josh.
Oh my god!
You're a rascal, and I'm.
Wait, am I like the cool kids getting high in the tree house, or am I like the other rascals? I just think if there's the rumblings that the two camps didn't agree on a finish, and apparently, again, he should not lose his mask. Apparently, they want to keep the ROH belt on Jericho's because they're hoping that will get them a TV deal, which I feel like this has been going on for way too long. Am I predicting yet, or can you
hold on for just a second? Jackson is just commandeering the show. This is what happens. Unbelievable, this guy.
We don't have a drop of him yet. Sorry,
Yeah, we need to drop him.
our dog is.
Just going to town on himself.
Steven, I'm talking about when they were on NXT, when it was before What's His Face got released and went back to TNA. It was Wesley and, wow, I can't remember either of his names.
Oh, yeah.
But basically there was like a rumors and like their promos seemed to be like in this treehouse of them getting high.
But
And
I guess it begs the question, I put it up here. What does a maskless Bandido do for AEW?
Nothing. It's so icky. I just feel like if you're going to do a hair versus mask or a mask versus whatever, that should be like a luchador and a luchador, and it needs to be just like Chris Jericho taking a mask off someone just feels real icky to me. And don't make that mother cry 2 pay-per-views in a row.
The other question though is this like kind of a lose-lose to some extent? Because like when you talk about like Chris Jericho, it's like at this point in time, what does a victory over Chris Jericho mean? Sorry, Jackson again commenting. So I asked that question to our audience here, as we say. What does a victory over Chris Jericho mean at this point in time? Because he's been the Ring of Honor World Champion, but he hasn't really.
Oh God, sorry about that, Jesus.
But has he put over anyone and really elevated the title? Like, at this point, even if Bandido wins the belt, which you reminded me that he was the last Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yes, he.
Like, what is it doing for anybody? And I don't know if you mentioned about the, like the TV deals and all that. And like, so like trying to shop for TV deals. I get Jericho's a more marketable name.
Yes,
Bandido
was the last champion before TK bought the ROH. I was gonna say that
Josh says absolutely nothing.
No, and that's why I feel like
ham sandwich.
That's better than nothing. I just think that's why it's gonna be a dusty finish. I think every party is like, you keep your belt, I'll keep my mask. Maybe we need to breathe for a little bit, because like I don't know. Well, then like who's taking this belt off Jericho? And I say this, and I'll say this when we get to the main event. WB Jericho, early like 2018, 2019 Jericho, like I have like them in the, no, it's not going to be in my head, inner circle.
Yes.
Love the inner circle.
I think they need to make a group called the Outer Circle.
Like the empty arena stuff, the first Stadium Stampede, like that was so much fun. And now this, I know I'm supposed to not like this Chris Jericho, but I think they've gone past that.
They made me not like him so much that I hate him.
Yeah, it's not like just like, oh, you're a heel, I'm supposed to not like you.
But I don't turn on my TV.
But I'm just like,
and they're still at the point where I still watch it. So ultimately, Nikki, who do you have?
I have Jericho because I think it's going to be a dusty finish, And I think something's going to happen. And I don't know. So, I don't know, technically, when they ring the bell, Jericho wins, Jericho retains. I don't know how you want to call that a win, but technically, I picked Jericho.
Yeah, I disagree. I think Bandido's coming home with it. He's not losing his mask, and they're going to give him the belt.
Straight up wins the belt and keeps his mask. I'd rather be happy than right. I'm worried how with Jericho's politics and that this is a late edition. That's your poor name?
Yeah, whatever. Whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to get by. Whatever you need to make.
Again, I
$20.
want to be wrong about this. Like, I hope Bandido straight up like demolishes Jericho, takes the belt, and gives maybe ROH a little different flavor.
Yes. So from Jackson's just our dog is just being a real nugget.
This
being
bad.
So I know, unbelievable. This guy, he's getting out of line.
It's like he's changing.
Bad. So yeah. So from one match, from the Ring of Honor World Title to what an invention I think Ring of Honor. It might be New Japan, but a Ring of Honor's invention, so to speak, to the Trios title, the AEW Trios Championships, where the Death Riders take on Rated FTR, and there is some debate and there's stuff to talk about in this match because there's tension between FTR and just to start right there, Nikki. Do you want to, we talked about this on Friday, do you want to see FTR break up? And does it make sense in a booking sense? Is there any benefit in your mind to this?
No. I have like 7 FTR shirts. I love FTR. Them, like the revival back in NXT, I have such a place in my heart for the two of them. And then for him to be like, Dan, and he's like, no. And I'm just like, oh, I want them to be a thing. And then there was this beautiful moment at the end of Collision. They all hugged. But if they put a belt on Cope, I will rage. I want FTR to stay together, but I don't want them to win this match.
It would make...
separately, Pac and Claudio deserve so much better. So please keep the belt on them. That match between Claudio and Cope, I can go on for days of how much I did not like that match. Good match, hated it.
So I will say this. So just still on the topic of the FTR breakup.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think the AEW, and I mentioned this on Friday on the show, like the AEW tag division has dropped off significantly from what it was 3 years ago when you had literally the Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, FTR was part of that. The Guns were like the 6th or 7th best team in the division at that point. I mean, even like an afterthought, and they're
Private Party.
Private Party.
They're doing nothing with the babies, like Top Flight. You're not doing anything with the Crew, which I didn't know that's what they were called. They're not doing anything with that. You got like Shane Taylor Promotions. There's like all these.
But I'm talking about like even 3 or 4 years ago when this was the best division in AEW. So
Proud and powerful.
Yeah, like to me, it's exactly that's what I was missing. This was their pride joy was the tag division. So to break up FTR doesn't make sense to me because you still have a lot to give another team to put over at this point in time. And I know I got to give our buddy Reese, doesn't seem like he's in the chat here, but our buddy Reese from overseas, our Scottish friend, and talking about Edge or Cope. I keep calling it Cope and Christian uniting and having an FTR versus Cope and Christian match. I would love to see that.
So
I would be all for that.
Lose and Cope turns heel and then joins up with Christian, and that's your Double or Nothing match, regardless if it's for the belt or not. Again, this is like basically your Mania. Your BP reviews 10 matches. Like Double or Nothing is going to be 6 hours.
True. And the only other thing about this is, and we'll get into this a little bit more in the main event, but could this be the end of the Death Riders? This could be the culmination of that storyline. And if they lose the trio titles, this could be one of the pillars and the dominoes, I should say, that falls in them losing their power and their grip on the AEW.
This hurts because, again, I don't want them to. So I guess it's two things. I like this trio together, or the group together. It's not a trio. The 5 of them together. Why is Yuta not in that photo? The 5 of them together. I really like. I love Pac and Claudio so much. I want them to have a belt. I want them to be doing a thing. So keep the trios on them. I think you can still have this group together, but maybe not have Mox as your champ. We'll get there when we get there. But like, I don't know. Again, you can break up the Death Riders. Like we broke up House of Black, and now they're the Hellhounds. Hounds of Hell. I was like backwards. So those 3 and Marina. I loved Marina. I want her to be more badass, even though she wasn't that match. Maybe like them can still be together. I don't know. I don't want this to necessarily be the end of everything.
Fair enough. I don't know. It's just a debatable topic. So ultimately, Nikki, in this match, who wins? Who do you have?
I have the Death Riders. I want, again, Pac and Claudio to have a belt. Their little brother Yuta just here for the ride. I think it's more interesting for like what Reese said, like let's turn Cope heel on FTR after they lose, and then have him run off to Christian, and then have a match at Double or Nothing. I don't want Cope. It's more, I don't want Cope to have a belt.
Yeah, because they're BCC 2.0. It's time for something new. Yeah. I can see that. See, ultimately, to me, I have a feeling that FTR is not breaking up. And at this point, just to kind of, I hate to say tread water, but just to put a belt and keep people relevant to a title that they're trying to add relevancy to. To me, I think Rated FTR wins it. I have Rated FTR winning the trio set off from the Death Riders tonight.
I really hope you're wrong. I don't want Cope.
You just don't want a belt.
I don't want Cope to have a belt, which is insane, I feel, to say out loud. But I don't want him to have a belt. Just go away. Just go away for a little bit. Maybe we need to put our little WWE friends to bed for a little bit. Jericho, Cope, Mox, I love you all. Go take a nap. Go take a nap.
Fair enough. So, Nikki?
Yes.
Getting to the world title picture, we always start.
Women's.
We love the ladies here.
Ladies.
So, let's take us back. The undefeated Megan Bayne challenges Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Heavyweight title. And they've built up Megan pretty strong over the last month and change. So let's take a look back on the feud between Toni Storm and Megan Bayne.
You keep looking at my title, but you don't have much to say. So I'm going to make this very easy for you. You and I shall have a date at Dynasty!
Nikki, yeah, the little thunderstruck for the storm, from the storm, to the storm. I don't know.
To and from.
To, yeah. So, Nikki, before I get your prediction, could this potentially be the biggest upset of the night?
Yeah, don't tell me your prediction, but is this an upset? Like, and then you're gonna get my prediction. Would it be an upset? Absolutely. Do I think it's gonna happen? Absolutely not. Is Megan big, beefy, beautiful? Yes. I'm here for. I think she's stunning. I think when she comes out with the head, like, was it Dynamite when she came out with the white thing and the big headdress? I'm like,
Headdress, yeah.
she looks beautiful.
It's like a queen.
I got a queen. That just makes me think of Nepo Queen. Oh God, Charlotte, fuck off. I think she has a huge upside. I think she will be women's champion. Do I think it's time right now? Absolutely not. You kind of just put the belt back on Tony. She's your biggest, I want to say arguably, I know people correct me down below, she's your biggest draw right now. She's got the character, the wrestling, the thing. I yelled at Nick and I was like, oh, you didn't put any of her horn dog moments in there? Like, I am here for her so much. I wore my Tony shirt on, my new Tony shirt on Friday. I just don't think it's Megan's time. Will she be a champion? Absolutely. Tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. 2 hours from now? No.
Our new friend, who might be one of your kindred spirits from wherever he's from, Yava says he disagrees. Finally disagrees. Yava, he's got Bane. Bring in the pain. Tony's above the championship.
Tony doesn't know how to book people above the championship. Because
I think he said Tony Storm is above the championship.
Yeah, no.
But
I'm saying I would agree with him, but Tony doesn't know how to book people above a championship. Hello, Adam Copeland. That just circling the drain of championships.
Josh is chiming in on Tony Storm. Isn't it a testament of how powerful Tony Storm is? She's bringing so much every title shot, every match, every promo. Take notes, locker room. Tony gets it and tells stories.
Yeah, like
Agreed.
her, oh, I was like,
I just feel like using the sexual stuff, which I know.
I remember
she goes to that well a little too much. But
Tony's my fucking girl. I'm going Tony.
Yes. Nikki and I ultimately, sadly, do agree that Tony Storm is.
Why does everyone hate disagreeing with me?
I hate agreeing with you.
I know you and Josh hate agreeing with me.
It's not fun.
Sorry to upset you.
The crowd doesn't like it. I don't think Steven likes it. They all do. But so we have a couple more to get through. So the Owen Hart men's tournament. Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight recently signed to AEW. Nikki, any
Ospreay next. This doesn't need to be on a fucking pay-per-view. Your new kid that just got his graphic 2 weeks ago, and then how many people did we mention that are not on this pay-per-view?
It could have been a good Dynamite.
Tony's got Dynamite. This is open on Dynamite. This should open on Wednesday. This is not this is not pay-per-view match to me. Do I love Ospreay? Yes. I get this is your new little toy. Yeah.
I love Ospreay. I think I agree with you though to the point where like Dynamite could have been these 4 matches, and that's your whole show. And,
have the whole show dedicated to the Owen.
Right.
You don't need all the extra storylines or whatever. This is just like when Raw did that, opened with that gauntlet match, and then it just went like that.
That was from Cincinnati.
Oh. His
name is just a bunch of rhymes. Yabba shabba.
In for it.
After you're drinking, it makes it really hard to read. Just
we're at
the bar getting tipsy.
But remember when Raw opened, or when was Cena and Shawn Michaels went an hour, or that gauntlet match went over an hour. Like, just have one Dynamite dedicated to the Owen. Again, you have all these dumb fucking gimmicks, Fighter Fest, and
then you can bring in Owen's late wife for that night.
Yeah, that makes hey, this is like my nerd kids out there who read the Hunger Games. Like, this is the opening ceremony, and just have a night dedicated to Owen. This doesn't need to be on here, but like we could all hold hands and say 1, 2, 3.
Will Ospreay! Yay! We did the thing. So, Nikki, that brings us to the other Owen Hart
which wasn't our original
Yeah, I know.
thing. It was
Late addition to our
literally
production
watching.
years.
I rewatched Collision before we came down here, and then Don Callis is on commentary. He's like, "Oh, Fletcher tomorrow, Fletcher Briscoe," and he's like shitting on Briscoe and like Delaware, and I was like, "This is a match." I was like, "Nick, we missed one. 10 fucking matches."
I'm gonna touch up before we get out of this whole segment.
Yeah.
Steve's soapbox. That's what we're gonna make this a new soapbox. Speaks to my point of Tony booking many newbies stars like he's a fanboy when most people have no idea who they are. Yeah, they don't know the AEW audience.
I
doesn't
know.
them.
I know he was in New Japan. From all the other wrestling podcasts and aggregators and all the other stuff I listen to, I know he's a thing, but I don't know shit really about him. And
Josh is getting used to it. Welcome to AEW, Josh. How many
10,
matches?
baby.
10, baby. This is the second to last year. But
Again, it's too much. Again, you're opening for a tournament that's going to be decided at your next pay-per-view. Doesn't need to open at this pay-per-view. Tony, give me 5, 6 matches, not 100. Stop it.
So Nikki, Kyle Fletcher,
Baby.
Will Briscoe.
Kyle, as much as I do love Mark Briscoe and I love his story, and
We
all
agree.
miss Jay, but could this potentially be another Ospreay Fletcher thing? I think I'm trying to build Fletcher.
Yeah, no, I think it makes the most sense. Mark Briscoe.
His anniversary was yesterday. Josh, do not. Do not.
Yeah, bring that Kirkman. Unbelievable.
His anniversary was yesterday, April 5th. Don't. Positivity.
Well, Josh, it was a long struggle, but we've made it
To the main
event where Jon Moxley, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, will defend his world title, which is in a suitcase, against Swerve Strickland as he tries to reclaim his house.
I love that
Getting to the main
I love that.
event. As we are a little over 30 minutes out of 0 hour.
I'm
Not necessarily the real pay-per-view, but 0 hour.
again, regulars, no. New kids, I will tell you.
New Kids on the Block.
No.
Yeah, much hate.
Chinese food makes me sick. Swerve should be a flippin' star. I knew him on the indies in NXT. I was like, he's cool. Obviously, on main, he did nothing. I feel like he found himself and his flow and his character and everything when he went to AEW. I loved him coming the fur coats and everything about him. He screamed star to me. I'm so over Jon Moxley. Put the belt back on Swerve. Please. Please do that. I'm so, again, being so in love with the Shield and so in love with Dean Ambrose and everything about this. Loving when Moxley came and hit the what do you want, Death Rider, whatever you want to call it, on the chips to Kenny. Now I'm just like, go away. Talking about trips, Mox, Jericho, and Adam Copeland should get on a cruise and go away. I think Swerve to start, treat him like
the Jericho cruise.
The Jericho cruise where we got engaged. I just think I cannot even put it on Swerve. Just put it fucking on Swerve and I will riot. Whatever questions you have,
So it's been again, he's beating him with a wrench. I guess crowbar. Our friend of the show. Friend of the show, Crowbar.
Watch our interview with Crowbar a couple months ago.
couple of months. It's like a year ago now. Almost a year
It
ago.
is almost a year ago.
This show has been around over a year.
If you like Star Wars and wrestling, you can hear me talk about Crowbar with.
Me talk about Crowbar with both.
Yep, strike that, reverse it.
Yeah. But so there's been a crowbar and there's been a lot of glass in this whole storyline. So what is the next hardcore
Oh, it makes
spot
me
for these two?
worried.
Because they're in Philadelphia. This is the main event. It's gone to the extreme. You know something's coming. Do you have any idea? Like flaming table?
Oh, I hope not.
Like, you know something's... This has already got just in a short period of
And
time.
that's the thing, the Swerve has to do something so monumental to write Mox off TV. Because besides Mox going to rehab for, 3 months? He's not been off our TV. And again, I love Jon Moxley. Go take Renee on a date and a dinner somewhere. But I think it has to be something insane. And the Spike thing from a Dynamite, when you're still seeing this, I didn't need to see that. I guess it's a flaming table. I don't know.
What about like real glass?
You know what this is right here? And then crushing.
Real glass.
Crushing the
Go
abdomen.
cry me a river.
I don't know. That's why I worry about it. It's good. But again, this is supposed to be straight up unless this changed but it's supposed to be a straight up just one-on-one match. There's no like a death match situation.
Death
God,
Steiner.
you know, I can't talk.
It's all fun, all good fun. But yeah, I mean, like, there's been like a death match level.
Yeah, but that's the thing he said. He's like, you know, you've been in Texas death matches. I've won them. Like when he was trying to up them in that promo that I really loved.
Yada says chainsaw. I don't even want to know.
Like, chainsaw.
Do I dare ask a follow-up question? That you might have to call in and explain that one.
Well, Chainsaw Charlie would come out and just wrestle, but it didn't have the chain. Well, it didn't have the chain on it.
They just use. This is what I worry about. He just said chainsaw, and not Lucille. Oh my god, I'm thinking Walking Dead. Spike. Yeah, like
Janice.
Yeah, Janice. Yeah, that was what I really wanted. But like, they just had the nails like on an exposed back of Jon Moxley. They're in Philadelphia. Like.
But would that be the ultimate swerve if they actually didn't do any of that? Because people talk about, I know,
just a straight wrestling match.
I know we're comparing apples and oranges to me, like that the Rumble match between AJ and Cena for the belt that they didn't like roll out into the ring. That whole match was in the ring. Could they do something crazy that you think they're going to do all this stuff and they're just in the ring? I doubt it because TK is crazy and so is Jon Moxley and clearly so is Swerve. But we've seen the bricks, we've seen the cinder blocks, we've seen the needles, we've seen Spike, Janice. Well, we need a new name because, I guess Spike and Janice had a baby, but
Spanish.
Spanish.
Spanish. Well, that's the language.
We're not
Spanish
is
a language. Spanish. Wait.
But I'm worried that it's going to take it to another crazy level. But I guess Swerve has to take it up here to put Mox down, to write Mox off TV so Swerve can have the belt. If Swerve doesn't win, I riot.
Ooh, barbed wire trampoline. I like that.
Oh my god. That's just like a bed of nails.
Ron, welcome to the chat. Yeah, he likes my drop. Jack Perry remains under country. Has wrestled since November.
Yeah.
I would like that gig.
Yeah, no, he dropped the belt to Garcia, and we haven't.
That would be phenomenal if I can get that gig.
Steven, imagine.
So the other thing is...
Steven's quote made me laugh. He's like, can you imagine the whole thing is just an hammer? It's like Chad, they're intercool Chad Gable and just do a grapple match. Would that be not insane? That honestly the complete opposite of what we're going to see in a couple hours.
Yeah, the only other question that I have is, again, because when we talk about the Death Rider story, because I prosed it earlier, like, could the Death Riders be coming to an end? One of the biggest names in their rise to power was Bryan Danielson. So is there a potential that Bryan Danielson could return?
I'm going to say no, so that means it's going to happen. I don't know. He was supposed to get surgery. He was flirting with surgery. I don't think he got the surgery. I don't think I'm ready to see Bryan Danielson wrestle yet. And I also don't, because Swerve lost the belt to him. I don't want him to be the reason why Swerve gets the belt. I want Swerve to win as clean as you can, and whatever car crash is going to happen.
So, to the point, Swerve can still win the belt.
Yeah.
There's two things. So, you have a lot of different storylines that are culminating with Bryan Danielson potentially returning. This is why I posed this question. So, Bryan Danielson, first off, again, took the belt from Swerve. To your point, I guess the secondary, that was to me my secondary point. But like, he took the belt off of Swerve, right? So, if Swerve wins the belt, he could show up potentially as the next interim challenger for at least one pay-per-view, because that's built in the storyline. So Swerve's immediate challenger is the guy he took the belt from. So that gives more credibility to Swerve's second world title reign in AEW. So there's that one option. The other option too is, and this is even if, and I'm just giving these two options, if he wins, Swerve wins, you still have a built-in match with Jon Moxley because he owes him from all that crap that's happened with the Death Rider. So right then, that's the money match. So you could have a standalone match, storyline driven, which is, we talk about this, has been rare lately with AEW. Like, we don't see it enough. It's storyline driven, potential main event caliber match right there. It's a main event match, let's say, between Danielson and Mox. So a return of Bryan Danielson, to me, offers up so many possibilities of just, again, even if it's just a one-off between him and Mox, that's a money match for all in all. I'm double or nothing, whichever gambling.
We're out and in. Well, it's double or nothing. Out and in. Again, someone will correct me. I know everyone's in the chat screaming about Hangman. They had this intense moment at the end of Dynamite, which I really don't know if we really addressed on Friday, but it was like, you came into my house, you did a thing. He's like, I burned your house down. He's like, yeah, I deserved it. And Hangman were like, like what? And he's say that again. He's like, no, I deserved that. So does Hangman come out and help Swerve win, and then holds it over Swerve that you have the belt because of me. But why would they? I don't know if they would necessarily do that because Hangman's in the Owen. So is Hangman winning the Owen to get to Swerve at In Out All About?
Yeah, I mean that's a nice little, like we're not friends, but I respect you, so like I'll help you, and then eventually we're gonna showdown, which is like all the Attitude Era type stuff. With like, it felt like Stone Cold had a lot of those feuds, right? So, but ultimately, Nikki, when it comes down to it, who are you picking?
If Swerve does not win in Philadelphia, I will riot. I lived in Philly for 3 years. I've seen some shit. I will fucking riot. Put the belt on Swerve. Mox needs to go away for a little bit.
Nikki and I, unfortunately, we agree on this one.
I know. Everyone's agreeing with me. I don't know what to do with my life.
We both have a new world champion being crowned tonight.
Looks like a star.
But do you agree? Maybe you do. Maybe you do not.
I know, like,
maybe you think that Jon Moxley is going to retain.
I can literally, like, you have the belt in a briefcase. I know that was a thing. I'm kind of over that. Like, and maybe it just triggers. Triggers. Because Brock Lesnar was gone for so long, and then Roman Reigns was gone for so long, and now Mox has the championship in a briefcase. I want to see my champion on TV holding the belt, cutting promos, being proud. Maybe that's just me. Yeah, Steve and I will ride in my own house.
I will ride in my own house.
See me?
Yeah, you don't tell me what I can do in my own damn house. Tell me what to do, Devil One.
You just called Steven a devil.
Yeah, it's a devil woman.
Oh yeah, look, we discussed this. Well, I tried to.
Oh, the caster?
Yeah, so I said I know we're in the throes of 0 hour starting in 20.
Yes. So before we're going to answer this question, the phone lines are open.
Did you just pie face me? Because I'm very upset.
No,
about
I said
this.
one. I said one.
You just went.
I give it.
You gave
I don't think.
You
I
gave
don't,
a thing.
No. I threw up.
Go ahead, go.
I threw up the ones. I threw
You
up the
pie
ones.
faced me, and I'm like,
Acknowledge me.
That's what it was. It was a one. It acknowledged me. But before we get to that, we opened up the phone lines. So it's in the chat. Click the StreamYard link if you want to talk a little bit of AEW Dynasty with us, a little bit of wrestling in general. But we'll answer this question posed. Who do you think answers Max Caster's open challenge?
yeah. So we were debating because they are in Philly. Is an ECW like alum going to come out? We debated like who is around, but also you're going to pull an ECW alum out during your 0 hour that no one's watching, unless Maxter comes out at that like 7:55 mark, and then you technically open Dynasty with this match, which I don't think would happen. Again, like his open challenge on Collision was opened by Briscoe, so
Yeah,
there's someone else from the conglomeration that would come out.
Who's a good ECW?
Because again, this Josh, this is where your time.
Could Jerry Lynn come out of retirement and wrestle? Jerry Lynn.
Do you think Jerry Lynn will come? Again,
That's a possibility.
He's backstage.
Yeah,
But I guess that's all you got.
The Heath Slater role now.
I'm sorry. I think Heath Slater was more enjoyable and relatable and lovable than fucking Max Caster.
True. Well, Nikki, 0 hour starts shortly, so we want to make sure we open up the phone lines and get to some of our. No, these are some great questions. We got new people chiming in, hopefully come back, become a regular. Before you do that, smash the old like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got the phone lines open and they are a brewing. So, Nikki, as I like to say to my little blondie, hit the snare. All right, Nikki.
Hello? Yes,
we'll
hello.
open up the phone lines.
Uh-huh.
Got a regular on the line. Let's hit it. Magic Mikey is here.
Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
Yeah! What's the story, Mikey?
Oh my goodness. The story is that I'm excited for Dynasty tonight. I think it's going to be a fun show. I'm not expecting too many crazy things to happen, but I definitely think it was definitely a smart idea to have some of the matches be Owen Hart tournament matches because it's just fun. And it also gives a lot of the talent that normally don't get to be on pay-per-views, you know, whether they've been there for a while or they're newer. Especially like the fact that Kevin Knight gets to be on his first pay-per-view within a week of debuting in the company is kind of great. Speedball is newer to AEW, but not to us wrestling fans, and he gets to have a pay-per-view match against Kenny Omega, of all people, is great. This is going to be a fun one. I'm expecting this to be fun. And I don't think anything will be as bad as the main event of Revolution was that left a bad taste in my mouth afterwards. I'm still bitter. I was so bitter about that. But another promotion may have gotten that so far as my worst moment in 2025. But we're not here to talk about that.
Mikey, so you mentioned it. So you kind of disagree with a little. Nikki and I agree. Like the less you think the Owen matches should have been involved. So like that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. Is like it felt like, at least to myself, I don't want to speak for you, Nikki, is like this could have been a standalone for Dynamite on Wednesday. And like that's what I worry about. Is like there's 3 matches on the card that didn't necessarily need to be there, and even then, like there's 10 matches already, so that would have been 7-match card even if you cut out those 3. So like, do you really feel it's 100% necessary to have all this Owen Hart? Like, I get your point of getting them like screen time, but like, is it just at the expense of the show overall?
Yes, in the sense that you could put other matches that aren't Owen Hart matches on there, because then you can dedicate the time between now and Double or Nothing for Owen Hart stuff. However, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea, especially because the biggest problem that AEW had all of last year with 2024 is that to put matches on the card just for the sake of matches. I mean, you can probably apply that to the Owen Hart, but at least the Owen Hart is a tournament that has stakes. This is the 3rd tournament for Owen Hart, but this is the 2nd year where there's actually stakes, because the first year was just to get the pretty pink belt. And then last year and this year is that winner of the tournament gets a championship match. Well, in this case, at Double or Nothing. Last year it was at All In Wembley, so this year it's at Double or Nothing. But I don't mind it because I think it's great. And plus, you know, with Double or Nothing around the corner, which is technically another big 4 for AEW, I think getting some of these quarterfinal matches out of the way probably helps, because, again, who knows what's going to happen tonight at Dynasty? I'm not expecting too many crazy things, but also I have been proven wrong many of times by AEW that every pay-per-view tends to have something crazy to it. So I don't think so. I'm just excited because it's kind of the same thing with the Continental Classic. World's End had this past year had, you know, the semifinals and the finals happened there. But then remember, the previous year we had 4 matches of the Continental Classic as well there. So I think if you spread them out, it's fine. Like, I'm okay with it, honestly.
We were saying before that I'd rather have like a Dynamite dedicated to just the Owen. Have your
like
4 or 5 matches just be about the Owen.
I mean, that's fair. But also, too, because AEW is also planning in the next couple of weeks, especially in the month of April, to combine Dynamites and Collision to avoid fighting with other promotions and the things that are going on with them. We literally just found out that AEW's Fighter Fest in the summer is going to be combined to a 4-hour live show, and then Spring Breakthrough is also going to be together as well. So that's a lot of television.
Too much.
That's a whole pay-per-view time amount right there. But they're trying something new, and you know what? I'm open to it. So I do agree, though, that if I don't mind the Owen Hart matches being a part of this, but I feel like there were some other quarterfinal matches that we could have substituted out for the ones that are on there.
Yeah.
What would you put in instead?
Well, of course, I'm biased. I would put more of the women's matches on the pay-per-view than on the men's one. I'm gonna be honest. I think Will versus Kevin Knight can stay. I think that one's fine. Mercedes versus Julia and Mercedes. Yeah, that one can stay. I'm going to be honest. As much as Kyle Fletcher, I think, deserves to be on every single pay-per-view, in my opinion, I think that one's more like a Dynamite or Collision match. And not to say that the other matches are predictable, but I also think this is the 4th time we have seen these 2 go at it. They literally had the number 4 in the graphic. So I feel like we could have swapped this out and put like a matchup that we haven't seen yet, or a first-time matchup between folks in here. I'm not going to lie, even though it would be devastating, you could have put Harley's match in this place instead. Harley versus Athena would be great, because then you have Mercedes and Athena on the same pay-per-view, and then you can have them face off later in the evening, whoever's match goes second, because that's what we're building up to, in all honesty. It's going to be Athena versus Mercedes on that side of the bracket to get to the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. You brought it up because Harley Cameron's just, like, again, getting her, like, yeah, the way that she's built herself up in the last, at least to me, in the last, like, month and change, like, I don't know if it's, like, the rub of working with Mercedes, but, like, yeah, if you could, like, no, like, I don't want to say that, but, like, just, like, being, like, they riff off of each other very well. Like, you need to have 2 to play. You know what I mean?
To
Regardless,
tango.
yeah. And regardless of how you feel about Mercedes, she's helped in whatever she's done. It's worked with Harley's character. Yeah, I'm excited to see like what they could do with her. Yeah, to your point, like if they put this on the ground, I might have been a little bit more interested to see that just off the 30-second clip that they had on Dynamite this week.
Well, and then the funny thing was too is even on Collision, they also Mercedes and Harley were paired up against Julia and Athena, so which was a very fun match. I really enjoyed that too. So
true.
No, I really love that match. I love that it like main evented the Collision, but there's something as much as I love Julia and Mercedes, like you're just doing this match, an opening match. Again, there's 2 men's opening Owens and the one woman's open. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you're just the randomness. I'm just like, just have a Dynamite that's dedicated to the Owen, and you're only doing the women on this match to get Mercedes on your card. As much as I love Julia, this is not a pay-per-view card to me.
That's very true, but I also wonder too if a lot of these putting the Owen Hart matches on here also has to do with the injury bug plaguing AEW currently and what we could have had to. I still am a firm believer that the match we got on Collision between, Don Callis family and then Hobbs and Company could have been on here, but the fact that you have Mark Davis who is out for a couple of weeks,
poor baby,
like
just come back.
He's gonna be out for a couple of weeks, and funny enough, it was during that. Now I get a better understanding of why that Hobbs Mark Davis match was like 2 minutes they had like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, well, dang, that sucks. Switchblade is out, which breaks my little heart because I was like, oh, he's going to be out for a little bit. And then, of course, Orange is a reliable hand to have, and Orange is out for a little bit. And that's not to mention, Queen Aminata is out for a little bit with a hand injury as well. That's why she's
injured too.
Well, backtracking because like Orange is like he's a popular wrestler. Like, he's not like he's a good wrestler, a really good wrestler. Like he's also very popular. Like having that, like the Jay White thing, like he was in the world title picture. There's been a lot.
He gets momentum and then he gets injured. He gets momentum and then he gets injured.
But the other thing too is like I don't know, like how much of that too is like what was it the last after Revolution, like the Dynamite after Revolution, there was like no card because everyone was hurt from Revolution. It's like some of it is also like, you talk about it in sports, like they call it load management in basketball. It's like making sure you limit the minutes of some of your key players. And like, I feel like that's the idea. It's like, you don't need 10 matches on this card. You could do 6 to 8.
I was fine with like the 6 we had before the Owen Hart matches got added. And then I was like, okay, 6 matches. You know what? I know better because I know last minute they always add like 17 different matches to it. But I was fine with the 6 that we were getting, between the tag, the trios, Swerve and Mox, and then Tony and Megan. Like, I was fine with all of that. I'm going to be completely honest. As much as I'm not digging the storyline, I would have actually taken one of the Owen Hart matches out, and I would have put one of the 0 hour matches on there. I would have put Top Flight and AR Fox versus Nick Wayne and, Crew on there as the opener for the pay-per-view.
Because
shout out to friend of the channel, AR Fox. I love that he's getting more time too. That's the homie for us over at BC Wrestling.
That's what I said earlier.
Mikey, wait, before you, sorry, not to, I just popped. But was that that might have been the same weekend that I met Mikey. We became friends.
That is the wrestling convention. We did an interview with AR Fox and some other folks, and that's when we met Nick too.
Just fun. We love that. We love when our friends make friends, and we're all.
Maybe we can be friends.
Sorry, Nick. Yeah, but it was just fun.
But again, these young, obviously tag teams, and then like AR Fox, and then Nick Wayne coming in, and you're having this big 6-man. Again, like I agree with you, should be on main. Like he doesn't know how to build up these young kids. Like no. I really like Top Flight, and I'm just like they could be something if you just get management and the pencil behind you a little bit.
I say the same thing with Top Flight, like I said with Private Party. Those two teams have been there since the inception of AEW, and the fact that it was only until year 5 that Private Party finally got a tag team run. Now, granted, if it was either it was one or both of them was injured, it's the same thing for Top Flight. Either one or both of them are injured. But I think it's time for Top Flight. Once we figure out how long we want Hurt Syndicate to hold those titles, I think Top Flight should at least get a run of some sort. I think they have been there long enough, and they're pulling triple duty. They do Dynamite Collision and they do ROH too all the time, which, by the way, I don't know why Jericho and Bandido is on an AEW pay-per-view. You could have spaced it out on ROH television and had this stipulation in this match at Super Card of Honor, which is May 2nd. I know it's like a couple weeks away, but
Atlantic City.
It frustrates me because the shenanigans are going to go down. It's going to go one of two ways. Either Bandido wins, which is cool and everything, so we can put an end to this, but it's not going to happen. I don't foresee him losing his mask, but I think what's probably going to happen is some shenanigans going to go down. Jericho's going to retain, but because of disqualification, Bandido doesn't have to lose his mask. And then we probably get a rematch at Super Card of Honor, which frustrates me to no end. I'm like, you could have just had this match at the ROH pay-per-view, but I digress.
No, I hear, and I said that before. I was like, it's going to be a dusty finish. He's going to keep his mask. He's going to keep his belt. Why are we doing this on an AEW pay-per-view?
Or they could be clever and they could do a mask on a pole match, and Jericho already won.
No.
Listen, ROH is already struggling to maintain its viewers because of how badly the managing has been of ROH. Now, granted, the in-ring is always good, but when you don't have any feuds and you don't have any storylines, and when Athena is carrying the whole entire promotion on her back right now, you have mismanaged the funds, so to speak. Now, granted, if ROH wants to become a place where we literally had just had a whole entire month of where we had CMLL men's luchadors, and Amazonas, which is the females division in CMLL, come through, let that be a thing where independent and lucha libre can come and thrive. Tony Khan loves his little experiment with hologram and is so over with the crowd. Let ROH be where independence and lucha libre happen. Like, it is fantastic. You have such a great roster, but you're also losing talent left to right. Layla Hirsch is no longer there. We have a couple other people who are leaving after their contracts expire with AEW and ROH. Shout out to Layla. She about to destroy people in Bloodsport at GCW during WrestleMania weekend, and I'm so excited.
Mikey, before I know Nikki has something she's
it's gone now, but I will think about it.
So I posed this question earlier, but like, what would the benefit could you see? Because again, you watch Ring of Honor more than we do. Like, what does a maskless Bandido do for AEW or Ring of Honor in general? Like, do you see any benefit? Can you sell me on any benefit of Bandido without a mask?
Okay, I can sell you on why he should not lose his mask, and here's why. So, just focusing on ROH really quickly, I think it could be like a talking point, but the problem is because we also review CMLL, we actually understand how important a mask versus mask match is, and we have, since we started covering it back in June of last year, though we've gotten a couple of mask versus match, and we've had like 3 luchadors lose their mask and now are wrestling without a mask, but because there is such a respect and a tradition and a history of the lucha libre in general as a form of wrestling, and then CMLL being the oldest wrestling promotion in the world because it's been going on 97 years now, so it's the oldest promotion in the world, period. And because there is such a history and a nuance and like actual reasoning and the importance of why mask versus mask matches are like the last resort in a long-term feud, when Western companies, as I hate to say it, but like for AEW, for example, having Bandido be unmasked doesn't make a lot of sense because AEW is not that company that has the history and the culture and the nuance that comes with all the, I guess, societal and cultural parts of lucha libre. So a maskless Bandido should not happen. And if it does happen this evening, I might actually riot. I'm not even gonna lie, because it's dumb. It's stupid.
No, and I that's why I'm like, we don't cover like all the other loose CLL and all the other stuff, but it just feels so icky that for like Jericho to take the mask of like Bandido is young, can do this for like got years to go. Like him taking the mask off him feels real icky. So I really hope that does not happen.
So Mikey, while I have you on, our new friend of the show now, Yaba wants to ask, and we'll all answer this, I guess. Will a luchador ever hold a championship in AEW? Muertos, Bandido, well, Roosh. Wait, oh yeah,
Roosh technically would be a luchador. I mean, he's more of the power base of a luchador, but essentially he follows the ways of Perro Aguayo, which is like a big lucha libre legend in any form, whether regardless if it's Mexico or around the world. But to answer the question, no, not in AEW. No, it's the same reasoning I give for other promotions like WWE and TNA because of the narrative that a lot of these companies tend to put with their luchadors. I would love it more than anything, but because of AEW and the trajectory of it and what the pattern of who our champions have been, and I'm not to say it's all Tony Khan's fault and, AEW's fault, but I do want to remind folks that it took 4 years for this company to crown their first ever black champion in Swerve Strickland. In any case. And then also same thing with Private Party becoming one of the first African-American tag team champs in the whole company's history. Now, granted, that's because they had to build up this roster, but it's the same thing is that there is a higher ceiling to be crashed through for any other wrestler. But yeah, I don't want to get too political with all of it, but the history books have shown that when it comes to Brown and Latin champions, there are very few and far between. Even with Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, they were champions, but then they lost it to the next big thing, which happened to be your white baby face or white heel or stuff like that. So, and plus companies don't have a good history of treating luchadors in general very well. Not going to mention names, but lest we forget that underneath a certain regime, we had a faction that was Lucha House Party. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, the other thing too to this question is like, I'm not to like diminish it, but like also like what type of championship? Like, if we're talking about world title, probably not anyone I could think of right now. But like, because there's so many like mid card belts, yeah, like I could see the Continental, whenever it's unified, the Continental Crunch Wrap, whatever we call it, Intercontinental Championship. Like, or something like that, or the TNT title being won by like someone like that. But
well, yes, because that to a world championship, no, I don't see that at any time or even at all. The TNT Championship, maybe, but the other issue is too, it depends. I was just like, because people who have the higher price in their contract will probably be champion before any of the other folks on there, which is the other thing too.
That's like, sadly.
It's very tough. But yeah, I would love to see, Bandido or even a Roosh, Dralistico, like even hologram. I mean, Commander is a champion, but it also took us like since the inception of this company, since Commander has been there to finally win a title, but it's an ROH championship. Now, granted, he's probably the best champion that we've had for the TV title in this rebranded ROH for me personally. But yeah, I don't know. There's so many things and we can spend hours on this, but I know y'all got other callers, so we'll just leave it at that.
Well, Mikey, no, we love having you because you enlighten us so much, especially on the Ring of Honor, CMLL stuff that we are just not versed on. So much appreciated always when you come in. Mikey, before we let you go, your last shot and where everyone can find it.
So my last shot, I'm so excited. So my last shot is I'm excited for Dynamite tonight. Well, not Dynamite, Dynasty.
I don't know what show you're watching tonight.
Also, by the way, AEW, do we have to have 2 pay-per-views named Dynasty? Because every time I type it in, I get the multi-promotion one for January. It's crazy. But I'm excited.
$49.99 on Dynamite tonight.
For reals. But I'm excited for Dynasty. I think it's going to be a fun show. I'm very interested to see if they pull the trigger on people breaking up and fighting with each other. I'm looking at you, Rated FTR, because that therapy session on Dynamite was weird. But like, if we don't break up, that was a waste of the story. I'm sorry. And then also, you can catch our BC WrestlePod review over at the Biconics Wrestling Podcast this upcoming Tuesday, where we review Dynasties. So it's going to be fun. Also, oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. Next, I can't believe it is next week, but Podmania is coming.
Yeah.
It is coming.
It's getting crazy.
Mikey, thank you for this perfect segue of Podmania. I am so excited for this. So, our two closest podcasting friends in this world, the In Your House Wrestling Podcast and Mikey's Biconic Wrestling Podcast. So, the week of WrestleMania, we're doing at least 6 shows together. We're going to cross over. You never know who's going to show up on what show. So, we've got like a bunch of different things. Mikey's doing a tremendous job on all the watch-alongs. So, the Nick Club is going to invade. And there might be some extras from the Nick Club invading. It's like Nexus. You just never know. You thought it was just going to be like Michael Tarver showing up with a mask on, but there was like 7 people. So it might be, especially night 1 of WrestleMania.
I cannot wait. And hopefully with this version of Nexus, hopefully we have a John Cena to bury us like a month into our thing.
Fair enough. Fair
Never.
Enough. Oh,
never.
Love you, Cena. I mean it.
Well, Mikey, let everyone know where they can find you and all the great content that you produce.
Oh, sure. Pretty much if you go on any social media site and you type in at BC WrestlePod, you can find our lovely little logo with all the luchador masks. And so you can find us on the YouTube, the Twitch, all over the social medias. We review the weekly TV shows for most of the major promotions, including some of the smaller ones. We also cover all the pay-per-views for those, as well as pay-per-views from the promotions that don't necessarily get covered. We've expanded our international reach as well, because not only are we still doing CMLL and New Japan, but we've incorporated more GCW shows here in the States. But also we have opened up the international doors, and now we are covering Progress Wrestling in the British scene. So it is fantastic. The shows have been great.
Mikey doesn't sleep.
Like, do you sleep? I don't know how you do this.
I will say my best thing that has helped me actually get a good night's sleep is the fact that scheduling. Scheduling helps a lot. We got a lot going on, so I'm excited. This week's going to be fun, and then next week with Podmania / BC WrestlePod's WrestleMania 41 Hell Week is what we call it, because we are doing something every single day up until the 25th, the week after Mania. So it's crazy.
Go to bed.
I'm on spring break during that, so I'm good.
Mikey, you know what you need to do? You need to just do this.
Cut it out. Get out of
here. Bringing back the 90s. We are bringing back the 90s one way or the other.
Oh my goodness.
Mikey, pleasure as always. Cheers.
We love you so much.
We will see you soon as Podmania arrives. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show from the Biconic Wrestling Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mikey.
Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, be Biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story.
Yeah, go follow Mikey, BC. They're so good. He's so
he's on top of all.
I don't know how he does it. He makes me want to take a nap. Mikey, take a nap. Go to bed.
Sleep. I needed a sleepy potato drop. We're gonna do that for next.
I know.
It's coming.
So bad earlier. Go on.
But Nikki, as we're diving into 0 Hour, which I know there's a few matches going on there.
Max Caster and the Who's Whatsies.
But we got a regular on the line. We'll make this our last call for the night. Nikki.
Say his name and he appears.
I believe in Steven.
Oh, I missed it.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, I missed this cue.
I believe in Steven.
Sorry, Steve, missed your cue.
Does that mean I don't get paid?
You don't.
I mean,
You do not get paid for this.
Price is wrong, bitch.
Oh man. How is everybody tonight?
Steven, how are you? What are you thinking?
Well, what are you thinking? What are you drinking, Steve?
Yeah.
You're
Well,
excited.
here's what I'm thinking is that here's might be a hint as to the Jericho Bandido match, in that Fozzy is supposed to be starting a tour in about a week.
Where?
For about a month and a half. So he's effectively, unless he pre-taped a bunch of stuff, I guess, which I wouldn't put past him, not going to be available. So why would he win? I don't see why they would have him win, and then you don't see him on your TV for a couple of months while he's doing the Fozzy 25th anniversary tour.
25 years of Fozzy?
Well, that's what the logo says on their website. So.
I'm 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
But is this like a national, like worldwide, or is this US? Like, is he following like AEW around? Or you? Again, I'm hoping for this.
In fairness, I don't. Well, it is American dates. In fairness, I don't know where AEW is going to be.
Steven, you need to tell me everything. I don't know.
Yes, you missed it. Yeah.
Well then, but I think that might be a hint as to who's going to end up winning that match.
Again, I really hope my prediction is wrong. I hope Bandido wins clean and it's easy peas, but I worry because of how Jericho's been.
And if Bandido does lose, I hope he's a handsome-looking guy under that mask.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess.
That's gonna be so gross. Not him, not his face, but like
him.
Jericho taking a mask off a luchador, I feel is so disrespectful. And I feel like Mikey kind of hinted to that as well.
And he's done it before. Plus, I know there's been accusations here and there of Tony copycatting stuff, and you just had a luchador unmasked on WWE television. I mean, we didn't see what he looked like, but the mask went away on Dragon Lee. So, who really knows? But I have a feeling that's just going to be Bandido winning, and then you don't see Jericho for a few weeks.
It'd be nice.
Or Ring of Honor.
Don't threaten me with a good time, Steven.
Steve, what else you got?
To piggyback off of a discussion you guys were having with Mikey, I mean, I don't really see anything necessary as far as putting those first round Owen matches on the pay-per-view. I mean, to me, that's a sign that Tony does not believe the tournament is going over, or is as over as it should be. You put finals on pay-per-views. You can even put semifinals on pay-per-views. To me, you only put first round tournament matches if the whole pay-per-view is the whole tournament.
Right.
Yeah. I'll, when they used to do it with King of the Ring back in the day.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, if he's doing that because of injuries, I mean, he's got that whole big roster all under one banner, AEW, and of course he can still bring over Ring of Honor people, and he can't find anybody. I mean, he doesn't have that many injuries, and he's got a good amount of injuries, and sorry that's happened, but he can't find anybody further in the roster at the bottom of his toy box, that he used to play with. And it's like, oh, can you bring him out and give him a run for a few weeks while these other people recover or have a break or whatever?
Well, yeah, I mean, look at who was just like Miro and some of the Black and some of these
Also,
Phoenix.
You don't need a 10-match card for your fucking show. This is not your Mania. This is not your SummerSlam. It's not Double or Nothing. It's not All In. This can be a smaller card. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean WWE just recently, starting last couple of years, has made a practice of their B cards are 5 matches.
Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, if you must fill up the what did you say? It was 10 because I wasn't counting.
It's 10.
It was
It's
10.
10 plus 0 hour, and there's 2 matches.
Yeah, so
before
12.
before
really
we went on, it was 2 matches at 0 card.
Yeah, you couldn't take a couple of those 0 hour matches and put them on the main program. I mean, there's really nobody. You've got like at least 200, signed active wrestlers. I don't know. Just when you think they're making progress, like 2 small steps forward and then 1 step back. Well, that's
how I feel. Like Dino Garcia is like, oh, you haven't defended this on a pay-per-view. And I was like, well, there's been 2 pay-per-views since you won the belt. But how many bullshit matches have we talked about that doesn't need to be on like the main card or on a pay-per-view? Not everything deserves a pay-per-view match, and you're just trying to shit your fucking stars on stuff. No,
you want to promote your tournament. You don't need a reason to put Mercedes Moné in a match on your card other than you're paying her a lot of fucking money. Okay. I mean, just you have all these women, all these women's wrestlers, just who's not on the card, whether she's wrestled them already or not, just you don't need to have this first round match. And I don't know. I don't know. It's just speaks to the more of the frustration.
Well, Steve, it's kind of like, I know you're a baseball guy with I know you're a Dodger fan. Like it's the same thing. It's like some of these guys that are like they're making $20 million a year. It's like, all right, I'm putting them in left field, and you're like, well, the backup left fielder who makes $500K a year from AAA hits 300, but you're making $20K a year, so I have to justify this contract. At least get some pennies on the dollar back on the contract. I think that's what a lot of it is, and it's like at the end of the day, here's the problem. It's like, and I hate to use this term, but like it's sports entertainment is the right technical term. So like you have to, it's 50-50. It's a split, right? Like you have the roster, like just because it's like making a concert. Like you can have 20 hit songs, but you only have a certain amount. Like I don't care, name the band, whoever it is, right? Beatles, whoever, who has like, let's just say 20 hit singles. You only have a 3-hour time span where you have my attention for me going to your concert. And I don't care if you have the 25 or 30 best wrestlers in the world, you only have me for 2 hours or 3 hours, like my attention span. So whatever you can fit in that time span will get my attention span. So like you still can only do so much. Like you can have the best talent, but you still can only do so much with it. And like it's same with every sport too. It's like you have to have your role players. Like you can't have 9, we talked about like, was it Cincinnati? It was Murderers Row in baseball with the Reds. Like you can't have 9 straight 30 home run hitters. You need someone to get on base and to steal a base or to get on and run the bases because it's still part of the game and that's part of like the show. And I think that's kind of what's somewhat missing. It's like, oh, I have all these people, and like people will tune in just to watch Mercedes or Adam XYZ person because they're a name. And that's not what it is. I tune in to watch them because they're a phenomenal musician, performer, right? Like whatever it is. And you have to put them in the right scenario where they're performing well. So that's kind of my whole soapbox speech.
No, I can't argue with that at all. That's exactly right. I mean, it's also all about pacing.
Yeah.
With the card. I mean, you just cannot possibly maintain that high, I don't know. I mean, just when I think they kind of get a clue, and they have to in some other aspects, then something like this. I mean, this isn't considered one of their big 4, is it?
No,
it's
Do
not.
they have a big 4? Like
they have all in, all out, double or nothing, and
No, it's Revolution, Double or Nothing, in, out, Full Gear.
That's 5.
I guess
Okay.
out more than in.
All
That
in
was
and
the
out.
first one.
All in and all out.
But again, you can say
Double or Nothing.
WWE has a big 5 with Money in the Bank.
Or 6 with Elimination Chamber, if you want to throw that in there.
If you want to
Those
get
are like the A. Those are that and Money in the Bank are like the A- cards. There's the A level, and then there's A-, and then everything else is B.
But agreed, this is a B pay-per-view, and it's a 10-match card, and already 2 matches on your 0 hour that obviously we're missing right now. But I'm just like, it's too much. It's too much. And again, I want everyone to make their money, everyone to shine. I want to support our women. But good Lord, let's reel this back in a little bit. My sonny needs to get back in.
I mean, they're going to succumb to the complaint everybody had after what the hell number was it? WrestleMania 35, when you had a 7.5 hour card. And in fact, I just saw that final match on YouTube like a couple of days ago, the Charlotte, Becky, Ronda match. And there was no energy left in that crowd because that was well after midnight.
Yes.
At the end of 7.5 hours. Now, you're going to put on 10 matches. Okay. Yeah. Either these are going to be matches that are, shorter than, like, considerably shorter than they deserve, or, you're going to go on all night.
Yeah. Just like, honestly, like,
got work.
6-8, like that's a sweet spot. Like I want my pay-per-view to be like a little shy of 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's one of their real, like I can understand them going longer for All In, as I can understand them going longer for Mania or whatnot.
Yeah,
that I get, but for a B card, no.
Agreed.
No, that's fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's just shorter. It's not a big pay-per-view, so it doesn't need to go long. So, yeah, like keep it tight and sweet.
Yeah, keep it. Keep it moving. Keep it quick. I don't know what else they have planned tonight, so but just okay. One match is over. Good. Get out of the ring. Next.
Exactly. I don't need a swan song.
No.
What else you got for us before we let you go? Your last shot or 1 or 2 more points?
This has nothing to do with this, but it is surprisingly easy to impersonate other wrestlers in other wrestlers' DMs. I'll have you.
Are you talking about Charlotte, the Dippy Charlotte thing?
I'm not saying nothing.
I saw a thing posted that it was like this. Ludwig Kaiser's the first man that we didn't question that he was in someone else's DMs.
Oh yeah, well, it's unbecoming. Yes.
Oh, it's so that I after we got off, I went upstairs and after we finished the podcast on Friday, I went upstairs and watched it, and it was car crash. Charlotte could not handle Tiffany getting over. Could not handle it. And then again, she lashes out like some people we know. Let me say the most hurtful thing, even though it's not true. It's like, oh, Ludwig's in my DMs. Everyone's like, no, he's not. No. And I love he tweeted that promo.
Sorry, he's not attracted to you.
When HBK got in British Diana's face and it was like, don't flatter yourself.
Yeah.
It feels icky, but like she just like went for the jugular and just like Tiffany like walked out of there. If Tiffany loses on, we'll get there, but
now, if they were really clever, now they would sign a match of just for one of the TV shows of Ludwig versus Andrade.
Yep.
Wink, wink, nudge.
But it'd be funny.
But I know this is the AEW show, so I'm curious to see what kind of progress they make when it comes to one of these cards. I think because they've been making progress in staging and in production, and you figure the booking can't be that far behind. The one thing you can't really, you haven't really worried about with AEW is the production of the matches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if you can quibble with the results of the matches, you know, there's not really much, because, you know, that's, I don't know who their match producers are, but that's something I think they kind of, you know, Tony kind of leaves them mostly to their own devices.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. But
mostly for worse.
Yeah. I mean, but they're, you know, this is probably like, can you call it a beta test for the final test to come in July at the Texas show? And you know, we'll see from there, because they're learning. But
Yeah.
you know, as you know, with any kind of training, it can be a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the hope, is like I hate to use this cliche again, but like rising tides raise all ships. Like right now is WrestleMania season, so you're starting to see at the very least the last 2 to 3 weeks for sure for AEW has been very good booking from Tony. Like I thought at least the first hour and change has been really good. So at least Dynamite, everything else, like he's starting to learn, like, just stack your lineup right, put your stars on the lineup, and kind of go from there, and like let everything trickle down from that and build. So
right,
maybe it's like the whole like, hey, I only have so much time, I need to maximize this time. Like maybe I'm not giving 10 minutes to MJF and, you know, the Hurt Syndicate. Maybe I'm giving them 5 minutes, because that's the most beneficial for TV time, to get him 5 minutes and to get Hangman Page and next person, you know, that they're 5 minutes, right? And spread it out over the course of the whole program. So
yeah,
hopefully that's kind of what we're getting to.
Yeah, it's better than what it was, but I mean, Tony, or, you know, whoever he's getting help with, that it hasn't leaked help from, that it hasn't leaked out yet, that he's getting help from. You know, the next few weeks is either going to prove whether, you know, they're actually learning something and improving, because they have been better, which isn't saying much from where they were at, but it's better. Or if Tony's just like the blind squirrel who happened to catch a nut, you know. We shall see, but, you know, best of luck to all of them. I don't think the break a leg phrase is appropriate here. So,
yeah, not exactly.
Yeah,
Steve, pleasure as always. We send you off with a cheers.
Steven forever.
Cheers.
Well put, ladies and
Stevenette.
gentlemen, to the Stevenettes. Still love that song. Still one of my favorite.
Steven and his Stevenettes.
So, Nikki, we are into it.
Get in it.
A little bit into... Ooh, no, wrong one.
Ooh.
Into Dynasty.
Ooh. Kenny Omega's weird chest.
And his weird chest.
It's just like, oh.
Breaking out.
I know. I tried to show my shirt before, but everyone was against it. So, it's so weird.
Let's get through some comments before we get
please.
out of here.
We got so many.
Yeah, new ISU for or no, not for real. Rebel for whatever.
They can read it.
I need Powerhouse House to get a strap and carry it for 2 years and just destroy people. Yeah.
We talk about him all the time, that he should be like a monster that's not doing monster things. Like you want your big meaty men slapping big meaty meat, and he's not doing that. I want him to, for sure.
That's the one thing that's kind of I think he could be a huge star in AEW. It's just like, and then they put him with Don Callis, and it's like I thought Don Callis might help him do something, but he didn't do anything. And
on Saturday, last night on comps, Don Callis just trashed Hobbs the whole match, saying he was a bully. He does this. It was just like, okay, like this is you're a young talent that they should be pushing, and Don Callis did everything he could to shut him down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not an uncommon story in the industry. Isabel from Kolkata. Oh, new fan from overseas. CM Punk exposed Hangman for what he is. Wonder what that. Yeah, I mean that promo just like I don't know. I think Hangman's been doing great.
Which promo though?
Just yeah, that's a good
when
point.
Punk called out Hangman, when Hangman didn't know that he was supposed to be called out, and it was like, "Oh, you didn't show up," and it's like you weren't supposed to mention me.
Yeah, like
I don't know. I will not have a besmirch on Hangman at this juncture.
Nikki's a very big. Well, we had our moment with Hangman at the
Jericho
cruise, so it was a nice. That was a fun experience for us all around. A lot of great memories, but yeah, as we head out, Nikki's got a little memorabilia for it for that trip. But yeah, before we head out, let me get through some last comments, see if there's anything. As we get through, like I say, make sure you smash the old like. We call it, well, so for AEW, it's kind of like not as.
It's not a. I don't even know. There's no one that does that thing. They're all flippy doos. There's not a, like
no one does like a heart punch or like
no one does like a. Who does a? Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, no one does a. That's a kind of surprising. No one does like a
hard punch
or like a choke out or like a aggressive choke out, a super aggressive choke out.
I mean, like Lance Archer, who just lost, just like a choke slam. Who's to say?
Yeah. Well, ISU, thank you for smashing the like. Yeah, we got to figure out what that is for the.
I don't know. There's nothing.
I know, and I'm gonna take
a super.
Yeah, like super kick.
My leg will not go that high, but you can.
Neither will mine.
You can super kick that leg.
But yeah,
oh my god, we should do the drop of when HBK, but it's not AEW, but when HBK super kicks Ric Flair, he's like, "I love you," and he's like. Again, like Young Bucks do super kicks, like they're going on
super party.
But let's move on.
Well, hit the old super kick on the like before you go.
I doesn't do that.
But
I'm gonna try.
We like to let. I know he's not an AEW original or anything to do with AEW, but we like to let our not so CCO take us out before we go.
Yeah.
Paul Triple H Levesque. Is that how you pronounce it? Nikki always.
No, it's Levesque.
All right, Levesque. So we'll let him take us out before we go.
Thought we had a spectacular event tonight. Very excited that so far everybody seems to have come out unscathed. Banged up, bumps and bruises, but nobody seriously injured, which I always hold my breath on these events. You want to see people have the best outing that they can possibly have and make memories, but do it safely. And we were able to do that tonight.
Yeah. Making memories, getting at it, no injuries. It's like
we're lucky because I can give a few injuries to a few people.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, until next time, you do not have to go home.
But you can stay here. Goodbye.